Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. This program is a continuation of the last few programs about the class in Manhattan that the Frierdiker Rebbe put koiches, and he was very interested in that particular class. We already spoke about it. He sent Rabbi Mindel every week to give a report, and Rabbi Mindel wrote a report to the Frierdiker Rebbe. Sometimes the Frierdiker Rebbe said you should tell the same report to his son-in-law, the Ramash, was the Rebbe, and then we spoke about the answer, excuse me, that the Frierdiker Rebbe answered back that he should read in the class about the story that he told about himself. We also, last week, in our program, we read the shailas, the questions that the people asked, and the Rebbe wrote down with his own handwriting the answer, and he gave it to Rabbi Mindel that they should discuss about what we spoke last week. And this week we are going to discuss another question that they had, and the Rebbe wrote down with his ksav yad what they should discuss. This is the ksav yad of the Rebbe, that the Rebbe wrote, and this is quite a few pages over here, that the Rebbe wrote the answers. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to read the ksav yad, the Rebbe, and I'm going to translate it in English. So I'll read what the Rebbe wrote word for word, and I'll try to translate that into English. Shaila. This is a question that the people had, and the Rebbe answered. Shaila. Ma teichen ha'idyan shebechol masei breshis nemar b'briyosam vayar elikim kitayv. Also, ma bo lelamdeinu Maiko mashmalon halo mei'atzu me'muvan asher kiven shalakim baram tevheim. What is the question? What is the meaning of that? It says by the creation, and Hashem saw that it was good. So there's a question, what is the lesson from that Hashem saw it was good? Everything has a lesson. And number two is, it's obvious, it's understood that whatever Hashem does, Hashem is good. So why does the Torah have to say, and each time it says, Vayar Elokim Kitayv, Vayar Elokim Kitayv. Why? Everything is good. Tshuva, the Rebbe answers, and the Rebbe, before the answer, the Rebbe gives 3 introductions. Number 1, Hagdome. Kol habriya mischalekes le'arbo. Deimim tzemeach chai medaber. Chiluk ikri b'nigeya linyoneinu ben deimim tzemeach chai medaber. Asher hadeimim tzemeach chai einoi elo nifal v'loi poyel v'yotzer b'teva. What's the introduction? The entire creation, the Rebbe says, is divided into 4 levels, 4 kingdoms. Number 1 is daimim, the inanimate. Like, for example, stones, earth, water, metal. This is 1. Number 2, growing species, like trees, plants, and so on, grass. The third one is chai, living species, animals, fish, birds, insects. The fourth one is medaber, speaking, which is man, people. And people that have people are a seichel. They have the intellect. So these are the 4. Now there is a fundamental difference between the first three and man. What's the difference? The first three are only mekabel. They are passive. They cannot be mashpia. They can't give. They're not effective. They can do things. We'll see soon what that means. But they cannot mashpia. They are created with their nature. That's natural. Whatever it is, a stone is a stone. It grows. Things that grow. You want to put in, you want to grow potatoes? You put in a seed of potatoes, and it grows potatoes. But that's all it does. It can't grow anything else. And when it finishes, it finishes. It's finished. So the three are passive. But the fourth one is active. They are mashpia. Then the Rebbe says, "Lo rak hadoimim b'tzeimeach she'einam yecholim lishnos as mekaimam, ela afilu hachai ha'oise kamo tarbulis v'shinuyim b'svivosei." You might think that only daimim tzomeach are passive. So he says, not only the inanimate, the daimim, and the growing, the chai, cannot affect and have certain nature as seen from the fact that they cannot even move to other places, but even the living, even the chai, who does many things and changes the surroundings, are also the same. Because l'choreh, seemingly, he does have power to affect. Contrary to what we said before, chai is different than doimim and tzomeach. L'choreh, seemingly. How do we see that Rebbe says, a mashal, an example? How do we see that the chai is different than the doimim and tzomeach? L'mashal, he gives an example. The Rebbe writes here, Hanimla oigres bekayitz lachamo limei hachayrif asher oz beteva liyemotzi teref bishvilo. Let's say an ant gathers its food in the summer for the winter, because then it will naturally have food. So with Chura we see that it does do more than daimim. It does. It gathers food. Or, for example, the Rebbe says another example. Toilas hameshi arges levush lo hamasim biyoser lematzovo kiyuma. The silkworm weaves clothes for itself, which is very appropriate for its situation as survival. So we see that the chai is active, seemingly. Then the Rebbe gives a third example. Hadevayra boine kaverto kamei adrikol boki ukahin rabbis. The bee builds its honeycomb like an expert architect, and many like it, and many like that. So l'choreh we see that they do. B'cholze gam b'poloisov elu chukei hateva heim hamakim boy v'oimrim asei kach uve'etzem lamitosoi shel dover. But even so, the Rebbe says, also these actions, the example that we just said, it is the laws of nature which hit him, hamakim boy, and tell him to do so. And he's really not adding anything to the creation. He's not anything. He's created for this. A bee is created to do this. A worm is created. That's nature. That's what they can do. But he's not adding anything. He's not creating anything new. Masha'ein kein ha'odom, the Rebbe says, Asher milvad zeh, she'ein hu muchrach b'masov, v'al yidei ha'bchira chofshi shaloi, yochel hu lehisnaged l'rotzen ha'tivi asher boi, Eid zeis, asher b'yicholtoi liyes koyach yoytzer ubeinu ba'ilam, al yidei masov, ba'oifen hamasim, yochelu lesakein ha'olam lezachachoi leskalaloi ulha'iroi ukeloshen razal shenas shutov lahakodesh baruch hu. This is, what is the Rebbe saying here? Like this. Let me translate it. However, the man, in addition to the fact that his actions are not forced, and because of his free choice, bechira chofshis, he's able to oppose his natural will. Moreover, it is his power to create and build in the world. Meaning that if his actions are done properly, he's able to fix the world, he's able to purify the world, he's able to improve the world, and illuminated the world. And as the Chazal say, he becomes a partner with Hashem in the creation. So that's the difference between the other three and a person. A person he's active in the world. He can change things. He has bchira chofshis. And this is the difference between this and between three and the three and a person. Now, I want to say another thought here, I think. The Rebbe says it in another place. It says, Ki shemesh umogein Hashem Elokim. The Eibishter is compared to a sun. The Eibishter is like a sun, the sun. The rays of the sun is always the same sun. The sun does not change. The sun is mashpia, sun gives. The difference is the mekabel, how we accept it. For example, the sun can harden an egg, can make an egg hard. A sun can also melt wax. Does that have any change in the sun? The Eibishter is the same. But depends how we do. For example, the sun can dark a face, make a face dark, suntan, and it can make the curtains white when it shines it, or other things. So the same thing is the Eibishter. The Eibishter create this, the sun it does one thing. The sun, it shines. It's mashpia. But we mekabel, we have the free choice. We can do what we can, and this is what a person is. It depends how the person. Only a medaber can do that. Not a chai, and of course not a daimim, and not a tzameach. So that is introduction number one. Before the Rebbe gives the answer, why does it say kitayv? Then the Rebbe gives another example. Introduction. Hakdome. I'm going to read the Rebbe's words. Engineer an zinur mumche ha'oise b'chayna hine kishem shelo yechsar b'mechayna mumcha mehanitzach lemilu tafkido kein lo yiye b'shum chelik v'dover she'eni mevi to'eles ba'avidosa v'asher efshel liyes bil odai v'im eina kein harei ze chisorn b'shleimus oisa mechayna. Now let me read that in English. An expert engineer who makes a machine, a car, just like there will be nothing missing in the professional machine from what it needs to do its job, so too there will be no part and thing in it that does not bring any usefulness to the job, and that it can be without it. And if this is not the case, then it is a lack in the one who made this machine, this car. That means when a person makes a car, a machine, or builds an airplane, or a bridge, or a ship, every screw is important. If one screw is missing, then he's not doing the job. It's a chesron in the whole job. Everything has to be 100%. He's not doing his job. That's when a person makes a car, or a person makes an airplane. Mikol shkein, ulahavdul be'ein aroich, the Rabbi says, asher beire ha'olam, leibara davar echad ba'olam b'chlal, uva'odom bifrat levatolo. How much more so that the creator of the world did not create anything for nothing in the world in general, and particular in people, in people. That means everything in the world, everything that's in the world is 100%. And especially in people. Every part of a human being is 100%. Nothing missing. Therefore, the Rabbi says, V'kivon shel Adam nitno hayecholes lezachich ha'olam v'lizkalaloi harei ze machriach loimer shezehu tafkid ha'adam alei adomais v'avidose hamutelos olav ve'ein ze inyan shel rishus elo chayvo. And since the person was given this power to purify the world and to improve the world, this shows that this is his mission here on earth. And this is what is expected of him. And this is not a choice. It's an obligation, the Rebbe says. Because everything is exact. This is introduction number 2 to the answer. Introduction number 3. Hagdome. Toiv amitis, and he underlined amitis. Toyar zeh eino shayach ela bedova shu betachlis shlimusay. Ki im efshorim by shakol v'shlemus noisvim al shlimusay. Harei ho'inyan shenimtzo bedova zeh v'shahu meineo ma'akev es talmusay hu ra. V'yef shaloimer al hadover teiv ba'emes im chelik memenu hu ra. What does it mean? I'll tell you in English now. The true meaning of the word good only, and he underlines, something which is completely perfect. When you say good, means perfect. Because if you are able to prove it and perfect it more, then the thing that is holding back that perfection is bad. So it's as if there is bad in the perfect. And you cannot say on a thing that has bad that is truly good. So when the Eibishter says the word toiv, he means 100% toiv. So vayar Elokim ki toiv. So because if it's a little bit not good, then it's already making, so it's not good, so it's bad. So this is 3 introductions that the Rebbe gave before he goes in to the answer. Why does he have to say that the Eibishter saw that's toiv, where it's obvious that whatever the Eibishter does is good? Now here I don't know if we'll be able to not say the answer today, but I do. Maybe we'll leave it for next week, but I do want to say something here that since I showed you last week or 2 weeks ago about our new book, The Gallery of the Great, that this is being sold now on Amazon, and it's being sold now in the stores. This is Mamish, the Rebbe's, this is part of the Talks and Tales, that the Rebbe made many hagos, many notations. It's Mamish the Rebbe's. That's number one. Number two, which I want to mention today, is being also on Amazon, is The Letter and the Spirit. And The Letter and the Spirit, we, in Mirza Hashem, I think in a few weeks, maybe in a month, we're going to have the 6th volume of the Letter and the Spirit, 6th volume coming out. And this is now is in Amazon, and also you can get it in the stores, and you can get the first 5 volumes for sure. And also soon, I guess, I didn't. This is out of print, the memoirs. This is the memoirs, the Frierdiker Rebbe's memoirs that we printed. Now, 2 of them were translated in English, and the Frierdiker Rebbe asked Rabbi Mindel to translate it in English, and he translated it in English too. And the Rebbe said that you should make a 3, not 2, 3. So 2, the Hebrew is 2, and the English is 3. So this was already printed, but it's out of print right now. And I hope maybe I don't know when, but I hope soon we'll be able to do. This is a very important book, the 3rd volume of the Zechreinis of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and also the Miyoim L'Yoim, from day to day. Everybody knows that it's been sold in the stores. Also, I hope it'll be at Amazon. The Rebbe was Miyoim L'Yoim for children was printed before Miyoim L'Yoim, before the Hayom Yom. As everybody knows, we already spoke the story. So since I guess we don't have much time right now, right? What do you say? What? So I think that we're going to leave the answer for next week, and the Mirza Hashem will continue next week the answer. Thank you. Hello.